What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We're just out on the BBS02 750 watt mid-drive. I took the Unit Pack Power triangle battery off of here, that 20-pound lunker, because those Unit Pack Power batteries are just like dead weight. We're using little baby Samsung 52 volt 8 amp hour little baby Samsung. Oh, I've never used a good 52 volt battery on this bike, so let's see how it does. It's feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good so far. Oh. So I built little baby Samsung as kind of like a small battery. It's nice and lightweight. I can throw it in a backpack pretty easily and you can barely tell it's there. And you can even carry it in your pocket. It's not very big. I would say it weighs, I don't know, maybe like 5 pounds. I'll do a calculation, I'll put it on the screen. But each Samsung 40T3 cell is like 68 or 69 grams. And then this battery has 28 cells. So you would do like 69 grams times 28 cells to figure out what the battery weighs. There's a little bit of hot glue and nickel strip and wires and solder and stuff on it too, but it's gotta be like between like 5 and 10 pounds. I don't think it's quite 10. But anyways, we're just riding around on little baby Samsung to see how this bike feels. It's feeling pretty good. I haven't been riding this 750 watt mid-drive bike a whole ton because all my Unit Pack Power batteries are just like falling one by one. Smells like a burrito party back there. That smells pretty good. So how's everyone doing? I need to get out from behind this slow ass car. It feels pretty good cruising around on a bike that is pretty light. Pretty lightweight. The pedal assist on this bike does about 750 watts continuous. If I give it throttle, it'll do more. It's kind of nice having a bike where you can actually pedal it This bike has a 7-speed cassette, and I have a 6-speed shifter on this bike because I built a new wheel for this bike and then put a different hub on it with different spacing. So I have a 7-speed shifter I need to get onto this bike. I can't use my 7th gear right now because it's only 6 gears on the shifter. But I mean, this bike, I can pretty much lift it up with one hand. I'll have to weigh it without any batteries on it. We've got a Halloween scene going on. Little baby Samsung feels pretty good. Let's see. Oh. So the BBS02 is a great motor if you want to do some pedaling. And kind of ride your bike like a bike. If you can throttle around with the BBS02, but you have to shift gears, so it's not as easy as a hub motor to just throttle around. But if you actually want to ride your bike like a bike and do pedaling and shift your gear, the BBS02 is nice. It's nice and lightweight. There's another e-biker back there. It looked like she had a mid-drive going. It looked like one of them fancy, like, European mid-drive bikes, perhaps. She was getting up at that little hill, no problem. Oh. Good thing I had a helmet on. It's funny how this little baby Samsung Such a small battery. It only has 28 cells in it. It's 14S2P. 28 cells. It must weigh like 5 pounds or something. But like the cells are just so much better than my UPP battery. Because these Samsung cells, each cell can do 35 amps continuous, and I mean in those unit pack power batteries, they have like a whole bunch of them. But each cell each cell in those batteries can barely do anything, nowhere near 35 amps. Oh. This bike fits me a lot better too for pedaling. It's kind of a large frame. So like I said, when I pedal this bike, it's about 750 watts. So that's what we've been doing here. Might go back this way. We're not going to be able to hit max speed right now because I don't have my 7th gear available to me. But we're gonna go down the hill, see how fast we can get going in 6th gear. It makes a big difference when your bike is lightweight. I think that's why a lot of those mountain bike style e-bikes with the torque sensors and stuff, they have smaller batteries, because when you're riding around on like mountain bike trails, like you don't want to be carrying around like a 30-pound unit pack power lunker piece of garbage. Unit pack garbage. feeling pretty good on the Samsungs. I want to ride around a little bit and just see how the battery performs. Gone 6 miles so far. Battery's still at 50 volts under a 750 watt load. BBS02 is still running good. The chain's got some wax on it, feeling good. Little baby Samsung's feeling pretty good. It's 14S2P. I put 2 layers of the nickel strip on the parallel groups, and then for the series connections I soldered a 10 gauge wire straight onto the nickel strips, like in the middle, like in between the cells kind of, so that the heat, minimal heat, would transfer to the cells. People seem to frown upon like soldering directly onto cells, because the heat can, you know, apparently like damage the cell and degrade it, the electrolytes and everything inside of it. But I don't know, I mean, I put 2 layers of nickel strips on the cells, and then kind of in between the cells I soldered on the wires, and it worked pretty good. Like it didn't really like seem to heat up the cells a whole lot. Like when you solder something, it gets really hot really fast, but then like as soon as you take the iron off of it, it also like cools down within a few seconds and hardens. So I think if you get a couple layers of nickel on top of a cell, and then you kind of solder in a strategic location, you know, in between cells on the nickel strip. It seems like it works okay without a lot of issues. Like, it didn't melt any of the cell wrapper or like any of the insulating rings on top of my cells or anything. You can go. You can go. I appreciate the courteous drivers that like stop for you and stuff, but I mean, personally, I don't even enter the crosswalk when there's cars coming, and like even if they stop, it's just like you go first. You know, the law is when somebody enters the crosswalk, you have to stop for them, but like I stop like 15 or 20 feet away from the crosswalk. Alright, well, that was a fun little ride. I went like 8 miles. Went 8 miles. We're still cruising, seeing how this bike's doing. The battery's at 48 volts under 750 watt load. So it says I did 1266 watts peak, and I used 4 amp hours. 170 watt hours. It says it's at 51.4 volts with no load. Well, that was fun. Little baby Samsung, an e-bike builder, signing out. See you later, dudes.